Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage, and Patreon subscriber BRGuard gave me a dealer's choice, and I am still in my prep phase for Eternal Weekend. I am still trying to convince myself to play Oath of Druids. Not that this matters to you, because you're going to see these a week or more apart, but I just finished recording Tinker Oath, and I was not happy with the Tinker package, so this is kind of a rebuild, refire immediately in the same day for me. I found that Tinker Oath was really clunky, and Bolas' Citadel wasn't even winning the game when I could make it happen. So, moving back to basics here, this is just regular old Oath. There are ATRAXAs to win the game. There are 4 of them here. It's a display bug that says there's less. But there are 4 ATRAXAs in the deck. To put the ATRAXAs into play, there are 4 Oath of Druids. There is 1 Flash. There are 3 Show and Tells. There are 4 stock-ups to find those things. Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor. And then my flex slots. I am playing the Gaia's Blessing. I like going super long. I like being able to Oath into the 5th, 6th, 7th ATRAXA if I need to in this metagame. Narset Parter of Veils is a card that I cut from Oath 2.5 years ago and never really thought about it again. But now we're at a point where Jewel Shops, Paradoxical Outcome, like these are some of your bad matchups, and they are decks that need to draw cards to win. So Narset makes some sense. She's also kind of a stock up. She digs for combo pieces, setup. Can't hit lands, obviously, but nobody's perfect. Oko Thief of Crowns can counterplay versus hate pieces. You turn their Grafdigger's Cage into an Elk, and now not only do they not have a Grafdigger's Cage, but they do have a creature to trigger Oath. Win-win all around. And Oath is a deck that tends to be overrepresented in paper. That's just a thing about the Magic community. We like showing up with Oath when it's real paper Vintage. Oko is one of the better cards in the mirror match because Oath of Druids and Show and Tell are risky to cast when your opponent has all the same payoffs that you do. 1 Thoughtseize in the deck. I really like being able to reach into my opponent's hand and not only see what they have, but take it. This helps defensively versus the combo decks and helps offensively versus the control decks. I don't want a ton of this, but having just 1 available to break up their whatever it is they're trying to do is nice. And there's nothing else special going on here. This is just the cards that are most focused at putting ATRAXA into play. I'm going to go try this no frills version of Oath and see if it treats me any better than Tinker did. Let's do it. I'm on the draw versus a lure strategy with a bit of a mess of a hand. It does have 2 mana, a draw step, and Gitaxian Probe. Like I'm almost on the way to stock up here. This hand is not good at casting Vampiric Tutor. It does cast Oath if I find it. I'm actually going to try this. Mox Ruby. Cycling Lorien revealed. Mox Ruby is immediately weird. The Dimir Frog decks don't normally play the off-color Moxen. Okay, we're in Deathrite Shaman territory. Okay, I'm actually going to let that resolve because that is a creature for Oath, and now I don't need any help. That's just in play already. Sick, there's my 3rd land. I'm going to probe you. Daze, Volcanic Island, Treasure Cruise, Wrenn and 6. Daze is fascinating. Okay. Polluted Delta, Mox Sapphire. This gets me around Daze, and now I can vamp for Oath in the end step. If they find a Wasteland to go with this Wrenn and 6, that's pretty good. All right, that's the card we didn't know about. Wrenn has no targets. This is just whatever. All right, I'm not going to fuck with that. Are they going to start plussing to the emblem or ping me for 1? There are 2 paths before you, modern man. There's also no black mana showing, so they should probably attack with Deathrite Shaman. All right, holding up mana instead. But I know that doesn't matter. Okay, Vampiric Tutor. Underground Sea. Vamp Tutor. I will put Oath of Druids on top of my deck. Go to my turn. Play Beseju. Cast Oath around Daze. And they need to draw a really good card now. Even drawing like Lightning Bolt to kill their own Deathrite Gem, and I have the misstep for that. Deathrite is a little awkward versus the self-mill aspect of Loam, but they don't have black mana, which is really important. That's what to exile spells, and there's not going to be any creatures in there. Okay, cool. Like, clipping my Gaia's Blessing when I'm mid-mill could be something, but, I mean, not really. ATRAXA's here. We've got a Black Lotus, a Forbidden Orchard. Let's keep the goods flowing there. Force of Will, stock up. That'll do. And I'll take an extra Oath just because I don't want to see it again. Draw for turn. I don't know how I lose this game from here. It would be a tough beat. I'll say that. Okay, so I can go Black Lotus, Time Walk, and then play a second Oath, go to my walk turn, ATRAXA multiple times. Yeah, okay. Cool. They're tapping out. We're against a many color creature type deck. These are the good matchups for Oath. I just have to make sure I don't get locked out somehow. Abrupt Decay, Fatal Push, these look good here. I don't think I want Dismember. I wasn't convinced on that one. Flusterstorm could help win little nickel and dime style fights. I don't really believe in Force of Negation here. I like all the card advantage. I like all the combo stuff. If they're a Wrenn and 6 deck, they definitely have Wastelands, which means I need to keep my basic island in. This might not be a Narset matchup. And I don't think this Flusterstorm's going to make it in. I'm just going to bring in my 3 removal spells and keep it pretty light. Well, I can look at their hand and then play a Vexing Bauble Show and Tell. All right, so I can look at their hand and then also beat Force of Will. I will keep. All right, well, they now see the path before them. They see that I only have 1 land. They see that I'm weak to Vexing Bauble if they have one of their own. They see I can't interact with anything. So what do you got? Raviolis. All right, we know what's for dinner. Okay, probe you. I'll start there, and then we'll see if there's anything I got to navigate. Like playing around a Daze could be tough. If they force this, I don't care. All right, they're literally just conceding. Yep, they saw the writing on the wall. Ragavan does not stack up versus ATRAXA very well. Smushing a creature deck is where we're supposed to be. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw for round 2 with a hand that really doesn't do anything. I'm going to mulligan. Ugh. This hand counters twice. I am against non-Luris. No, still doesn't do anything. I'm a vintage deck. Yikes. All right, at some point, I gotta stop. I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to bottom Time Walk and... Yikes. This is bad. Should I go to 4? Oh, I already said keep. I guess I can't go before now. All right, well, that's fine. Time Walk to the bottom, and Vexing Bauble's a redraw, and it's a potential, like, big blast in certain matchups. All right, I'm going to bottom ATRAXA. Here we go. Terrible hand. Playing since a shop deck. I'm actually going to counter this Grim Monolith because this could filter Workshop into casting spells that actually work. Soul Ring kind of does the same thing. A Emerald, Crypt. I think I'm going to bauble pass rather than try to draw a card now because there's not many cards that actually matter now. And if this slows them down for 1 turn, I'll take it. Just die to Karn. Fleshraker. Oh, that's not good either. Pithing Needle. Guess I'll draw a card here. All right, Black Lotus, not bad if I get a turn. 2 cards left in their hand. I just didn't want that Vexing Bauble actually in play. They could name Beseiju that I would care about. It depends on if they realize what deck I'm on or not. Like maybe they do, maybe they don't. I've just shown basically generic Power 9 cards and counter spells. Black Lotus stock up could make something happen though. If I get a turn. They could name... Like, if they're not on a Time Vault line, they could name Time Vault to make sure I don't spike the game on them. Misty Rainforest. All right, that was pretty heads up. I do have 2 of those in my deck. That probably also means they do read me to be on Oath. Oh, wow. Passing with 4 mana in the pool. All right. Big rips, big rips. Mox Pearl. All right. Pearl. Lotus. Float 2. Blue, blue, blue. This is the swing. Stock up. Take me home. No, you piece of shit. Okay. I guess I take Force of Negation and Tropical Island. That sucked. All right. Well, they didn't kill me last turn when the coast was clear. Let's see what happens now. Grim Monolith. And maybe on Malta 5 I was supposed to be more discerning with my force. All right, deck. We're back. Stock up. Stock up. All right, Force of Will. I'm back to a small amount of protection, but I am bleeding out to Mana Crypt plus Fleshraker. I'm taking 3.5 damage per turn on average. Well, you can't have that. That's phenomenal card selection, and it kills me. Halfway to killing me. Manifold Key. All right. Yeah, go to 8. Stock up. Stock up. Oath of Druids. Oath of Druids. Stock up. Oath of Druids. Ugh. All right, I will play the land. I'm not bluffing anything here. I'm dead to a Crypt Flip. I'm dead to a couple artifacts out of Fleshraker. One Ring, certainly tough. And with Manifold Key to untap that, this is Ancestral Recall immediately. Okay, the Malta 5 stinks, but I did get a real shot at this game. If that stock up just showed me an Oath of Druids, I think I win. Scrawly Crawly. All right, I am deterministically deceased. Okay. The good news is this matchup's good. I just need to actually do what I'm supposed to do. Okay, Flusterstorm doesn't matter. They don't have spells like that. Vexing Bauble, I'm not that interested in. I can cut my Mana Crypt because I'm bringing in Null Rods. It's just awkward. All right, I just got to keep their payoffs from getting me while actually doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't think I want Sarah's Emissary in. Breaker Shops is not a wasteland deck. I could turn this island into something else if I want it to be. You get like Abrupt Decay in there. Fatal Push can hit Raker, but I don't think that's where I want to be. Yeah, I'll go one Abrupt Decay in. All right, let's go. Okay, this is a turn 1 Null Rod with Force backup. My hand's a little awkward, but I think that's okay for the matchup. I'm gonna have to just cycle off the Gaia's Blessing, but this is a matchup where that's fine. I should not need 5 Atraxas to beat this opponent. Though there's a good chance I pitch one of them to Force. Null Rod resolves, because everything resolves in this matchup. Saga, well, that's one of their ways out. Sensei's top, that doesn't work, okay. Okay, so they need Ancient Tomb to make this Saga something I care about. And if they have it, I guess I can just Beseiju the Saga. Okay, they're spending mana, that's great. I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze in this end step and just try to get something going. Hedge Maze, Abrupt Decay. I don't think I want that. I can't cast it, and I don't care about anything they're doing. We've seen Pithing Needle in their deck, and I'm just thinking about anything that might matter here. I'm going to fetch ahead of time, and I could cycle off the Gaia's Blessing. I could lose 2 life to do it and leave up Consign. Yeah, I think the life total is okay here. And I'm more likely to cast a black card here. I need green mana, though. I think I'm going to target nothing. Abrupt Decay can shut up. All right. Pass the turn. That was just a cycle. Just trying to get anywhere and do anything. Flash, Show and Tell, Oath, Oko. They're all good here. Grafdigger's Cage, whatever. Scrawly Crawly. I'll counter that one. That one I do care about a little bit. Force of Negation. I'm not that far away from casting Atraxa. If I draw an Orchard, that's my white source. Flooded Strand's not actually a white source in this deck. I'm going to fetch in the end step because there's just nothing in my deck that cares about shuffling. Disruptor Flute in the upkeep. Resolves. I have plenty of mana. I could just pay if they name Show and Tell. And if I need it, I can Beseiju it. And if they name Beseiju, it's all the same. Okay, they named Force of Will with that. Oh, stock up. Let's go. All right, I'll keep taking the damage. Ancestral Recall, hell yeah. Forbidden Orchard, I might need that at some point. These to the bottom. Ancestral myself. And I could just Show and Tell now. What could they put in? I'm going to wait, and I can flash anytime, and I can Show and Tell next turn when I have Beseiju available if I need to blow something up right away. God, that was the best draw they have by a long shot. All right, well, now what? Argentum Masticore, protection from multicolored. Force of Will cost me 3 mana here to cast. I would like to Besage Tolarian Academy. Protection from multicolored means we're racing. This doesn't have reach. Oh, this can also blow up Null Rod. There's a lot of shit I don't like going on here. Okay, I think I'm just going to pay my 3 to force this and pitch a show and tell. Right, Masticore, handled. Just burned off 3 mana, no use for it. Done another force, and now I guess I should keep rolling the dice on this Ancient Tomb and hope I don't die. All right, ATRAXA is coming in. They could put something in here. Fleshraker has arrived. I've got Oko. Time Walk should do it. Time Walk, drop, force, and do I want ATRAXA? All right, they don't want to see me do this anymore. Okay, cool. All right. Weird game, slow game, but if your opponent can't function, you're allowed to take your time. Dismember can hit Masticore. Do I like that better than Abrupt Decay? Probably not. Decay hits Grafdigger's Cage, which is one of their tools. I could bring in Sarah's Emissary, named Creature, then they have a hard time winning. I'm not worried about it. I have the cards I want. Let's do it. This one is kind of slow. It does have Besage, but that's about all it has. I'm going to mulligan this. I would like to see some interaction. Oh god. The double Null Rod, but no plan to get to 2 mana. Opponent kept 7. That's worrisome. Alright, I'm going to 5. Alright, I actually like this hand. Keep and put one of the Oaths and one of the lands on the bottom. Okay. I need a turn, but if I get a turn, my hand's pretty okay. Pearl. Chalice on 0. Alright, played around it by never drawing a piece of power in my life. The One Ring. Alright, well, that will draw 3 cards before Null Rod turns it off, and I hope that's enough to get me where I need to be. Oh, or we can do this now. Alright. Hot Rips. Pass. Okay, it drew 1 card. It replaced itself. Wasteland. Oh, well, this list has Wastelands. How foolish of me. Okay. I've got a win condition. It's their One Ring. Ancient Tomb. I think I want the Hedge Maze, even though I've now seen Wasteland. Stock up. No thanks. I would like lands, especially if it's Forbidden Orchard. Okay, I am going to play the Oath. This makes it hard for them to even invest anything. Like if they play a Masticore, I trigger Oath. Force a negation. All right, pass the turn. If I draw a land for Oko, I can elk one of their things. Disruptor Flute resolves. They named Force of Will with that last game. Let's see if that's the same story now. Force of Will. That's not the card in my hand. Another Ancient Tomb. They're building up mana, functional mana. All right. Someday. Inventor's Fair. Okay, so that offsets the ring. Or they could just tutor something immediately. All right, tutor right away is what they're doing. What are you interested in here? Grafdigger's Cage. Crazy that I have the mental misstep. Okay, that was as clean as that gets. Time Walk. I'm going to save that. I can do better. Okay, so they are washing out their ring. I don't have a win condition anymore, but I'm not going to spend a counterspell on that. You can't make me do it. This is also a turn where Oath can't target them. Like if they want to develop a Fleshraker right now and think they can do something with it next turn, that's fine. Show and Tell. Another blue card to pitch to force. If I draw an ATRAXA, that's a game plan. We're back to full stop. Mox Pearl in my hand. Tolarian Academy. Mother Fudger. They are good at finding that one. But I found Boseiju, who endures. Alright. I'm going to play Boseiju. And then, what do I want to elk here? I'm going to play Oko and elk Disruptor Flute, probably. They could play another flute in response. All right, that didn't happen. Your Disruptor Flute is an elk, which means Force of Will costs normal mana again, and there's a creature in play. I had to tap out a Consign to get to this point. Bunch of mana in the pool. Glaring Fleshraker. That resolves. Might as well dump out now. What they got to do is overpower the ATRAXA that's coming. Double Fleshraker's genuinely horrific. 4 cards in hand. I mean, this could happen. Scrawling Crawler. Alright, I mean, that's a bunch of damage all around. I'm at 8, and when I draw a card, I lose a life. So I'm at 7, and they can attack me to 5. Like, they could actually just do this. Do I care about Manifold Key? Am I at 1? All right, yeah, I'm going to be at 1 when this pops off. This is why I saved the Time Walk. Oh, and they have all these fucking spawns. Yeah, if their hand has a spell in it, they win. A Mox, anything. Wow, yeah, they're going to get me. Yep. GG. Oh, that was so fucking miserable. The Tolarian Academy stealing the matchup. Okay, GG's though. With a Force of Will on the first Fleshraker, they're not even close to enough damage, but I didn't actually have Force of Will. I tapped out a Consign to do this. I could have played it more patiently, but my read was that they didn't have anything, and boy, was I ever wrong. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I am on the play in round 3 against an opponent who I know has been on Oath quite a bit lately. I am going to keep this hand because it is good in the Oath mirror. I have an Orchard. I have a turn 1 protected Narset. No Lurrus revealed, which makes me still suspect they're on Oath. Of course, players can change decks between leagues. No man is an island, as they say. I'm going to play Lotus because I want to hide the Orchard. And I'm going to cast Narset with a blue floating. I kind of hope there is a Force of Will over there. And now I hope to hit Ancestral Recall. Can we get it all? Interesting. Thoughtseize is not bad. I'm going to bank this Oath. It's not always advisable to jam Oath in the Oath mirror. But game 1, if they didn't know that I was up to this or, you know, whatever, I am sitting on an Orchard. Time Walk's fine. Fetch a Rooney. Hedge Maze. They're trying to find a way out of this Narset. Kept the card on top. Scary. If they show and tell me here, I'm not in good shape. Found an Orchard. Okay, you're playing Oath, which means I don't have to act yet. Now the subgame truly begins of who can have more Orchards over the longer period of time. Narset. Ancestral Recall, huh? That one's good. Mana Crypt, I could just shove ATRAXA into play right now. I think Ancestral's the place to be, though. I'm going to play this Orchard and pass. Okay, so I have to Ancestral on my own turn anyway, because if they float in my end step, give me a guy, I have to give them a guy. Then Oath won't trigger because we have the same number of creatures. So if I have to Ancestral here now anyway, I might as well do it, right? Okay, I'm going to Ancestral now. And if they just decide that they're not going to make a creature then, though, all right, fluster me back. We could have this showdown. I can pay for one, force the other. All right, I'm going to force one pitching Flusterstorm because I still want the show and tell, and then I'll pay for the other. All right, we both get a 1/1. All right, a second Fluster. All right, game on then. We both have 1/1s. Oath is not going to trigger this turn. Please don't have another Orchard as your last card in hand. Yeah, they attack, I block. Ends up being the same thing all around. Orchard! Orchard! Oko. Well, Oko will be good someday. I don't think I want to play this Oath from my hand because it just doesn't matter if it's in play. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. If they make mana, I make mana. Okay. Full idiot mode activated. This is the Oath mirror. So if my opponent ever triggers Oath, then so do I. Because they'll be +1 creature on the ATRAXA. Okay, this land lets me put Oko on the stack. All right, we're having a showdown. I'm going to get Underground Sea and cast Oko, which will give them more creatures than me when I elk one of their Moxen. This also gives them enough power and toughness to kill Narset. Got to do what we got to do, though. ATRAXA is more important. This does unlock their hand if they have like Ancestral Recall in there. This could get something going. Okay, so they tap on my turn to get me to 2 creatures. They can attack, then tap on their turn to get me to 3 creatures, but I can block their 3/3 without them losing a creature. So unless they draw another Orchard, I will have more creatures on my turn. Or they could not attack Narset. That's the other option. If they ignore Narset, then they can keep me off Oath for a turn. Okay, they have correctly decided Narset is a fight worth fighting. I'm going to block and block. This would leave me 0 to their 2. They could get it up to 1. All right. There's the blocks. Orchard. Did we unlock Ancestral Recall? Show and tell. Well, game on. I'll put in ATRAXA as well. Oh, you've got Bolas' Citadel. Fun! The game is gaming. Okay, so I want Force of Will. I want Time Walk. I want Mox Emerald. I want Vexing Bauble and Forbidden Orchard. Because if I get a turn here, which is not guaranteed, but if I do get it, okay, Oko can Elk my ATRAXA. This is not my fight, though. We can do this. I can thug it out through double Forbidden Orchard. All right, you've got an ATRAXA. This one I'm a little more worried about, but I have an Oko as well. I don't want you reloading. I'll use my Force here, pitching Show and Tell. Yeah, I'm more worried about the reload. Ancestral from the top of the deck, sure. This has become an exciting game. All right, Force from the top of the deck going to 3 life, which means that the Bolas Citadel's a lot worse now. We've got to fade Time Walk plus initial mana source here, or Time Walk off the top of the deck with Citadel. All right, all 3 other ATRAXAs revealed by this ATRAXA, plus some forces, a Stock Up, and a Soul Ring. They did hit the second Forbidden Orchard, which means they could keep me from oathing now, but I have Time Walk, so I should be able to beat this. They took Force of Will, Soul Ring, ATRAXA, Forbidden Orchard, Stock Up. Lotus Petal. Time Walk is the bad card that I don't want to see. They've elked my ATRAXA. Fetching Polluted Delta means Time Walk can't come off Citadel anymore. They might just cast Stock Up or Soul Ring into Stock Up. Soul Ring. Mana's been spent. Demonic Tutor. Oh no, with a mana floating! This is Time Walk. No! It's all coming crumbling down. I'm not necessarily dead yet, though, because this is not 17 damage. There is still an Oath in play. I still get ATRAXA triggers, getting my Time Walks going. Vexing Bauble still in my hand. Oh wait, Time Walk's in the graveyard. Where did that go? Oh, did they emergency Time Walk earlier? I panicked for no reason. My opponent just said in the chat, I thought Time Walk was in library, and so did I. Yeah, all right. Okay, so you're saying it's a better chance than I thought it was a moment ago. I was already counting out how we do still have a chance, but now we totally have a chance. In fact, we might even just win. But you do get to still Demonic Tutor. For Lotus, this could Stock Up still. Where are we going with this? Okay, it appears to be my turn. Okay, Oath doesn't trigger here. Okay, I've got Mox Sapphire. Get that in before the Bauble. Land. Vexing Bauble probably gets counterspelled. Unless there's a Force of Negation in their hand, which would be insane. Super messed up. Uncool. Oh, I just have lethal, don't I? I don't even have to do stuff. I just elk their Oko and attack with my 3 creatures. Or elk their ATRAXA and attack with my 3 creatures. And the Time Walk is all flavor. Yeah, they're at 1. Okay. Yeah, I have 3 lethal attackers, and I could take them off lifelink. Yeah, Force Pitching Flash. Okay. Target creature is a 3/3. I choose ATRAXA, and then attack you for 5. They almost did it. It was that Time Walk in the graveyard that betrayed them. Time Walk really is just the most important card in the Oath deck. A block. Woof. All right. Stealing game 1 in the Oath Mirror. We like it. Mindbreak Trap. Abrupt Decay kills Planeswalkers. Mindbreak Trap can win these clutch fights where it just comes down to somebody's Show and Tell or somebody's Flash. Opponent has Tinker and I don't. And I specifically cut Tinker because I didn't like it. And we'll see if that holds here. I think my Vamp Tutor is worse than theirs because they have access to Tinker and I don't. I have Thoughtseize. I really like Thoughtseize. Don't need basic island. And Flusterstorm can win stock up fights, ancestral fights. Maybe I want that as well. Force of Negation. I hate going 2 for 1. I could cut Mana Crypt. If this game is going to get long and slimy, like obviously if I have Crypt on turn 1 and just start dropping stock ups, that feels crazy. But if we're just looking at each other going back and forth for a long time, Crypt can be a liability. Oh, I'm supposed to cut a bunch of my oaths. Never mind. I get all this shit back. I briefly lost my mind and forgot what we were doing. This is the Oath Mirror, and Oath is bad in the mirror. Because you'll notice I won that game on the back of my ATRAXA, game 1, when my opponent played Oath, and I was threatening an ATRAXA, so my opponent cast Show and Tell, which put ATRAXA into play for me, and my opponent did 2 things that generated ATRAXA for me. And that's what I don't want to happen. Vamp Tutor's back in. The 1 Oath I could tutor for if the spot looks right. Virtue's Ruin could kill ATRAXA in this like crazy fringe case where they successfully Show and Tell around me, but I can't imagine any of these cards are worth cutting for that. Consign to Memory can counter an ATRAXA trigger. No, alright. This is my deck. I have to fend off Tinker from their side, and they have to fend off a more focused game plan from mine. Yikes. Alright. I like the Force and the Double Orchard. I hate everything else. I'm going to mulligan. Opponent kept 7. Double ATRAXA. In Vamp Tutor. Alright, I'm going to keep this and bottom one of the ATRAXAs. Though, no, I'm actually going to bottom a land because if I pitch an ATRAXA to Force, then I still have something to Show and Tell. Pearl. I have that too. Lotus Petal. Not a card that I play. Vexing Bauble. Alright, well, that beats my Pearl. And Hedge Maze. Kept their card on top. Scary. Oath. Well, there's the 1 of Oath is here. My plan is to vamp for Ancestral Recall, but we'll see what my opponent does here. Alright, never mind. I'm going to vamp for Forbidden Orchard. And if they have set all this up to Flusterstorm this Vampiric Tutor, then I'm in some trouble. Vamp Tutor. Oh, I could juke them here. I could just get Abrupt Decay, let them give me a 1/1. But I have Oath in my hand too. But if they have Beseiju, that's not great. Yeah, it's Forbidden Orchard or it's Abrupt Decay here. I think I actually want Decay. Am I crazy? Alright, I'm going to take Decay. And I'm going to pass the turn. And the reason I took Decay instead is if they have a multiple orchard or can blow up my orchard, like if they're in on this Oath plan, then they must have known. If they have Veil of Summer right now, I'm cooked, and I do know they play one of those. Cool. And now I have a 1/1. You don't. Do you have another Oath? And I cut the oaths in this mirror. I would understand if other players bet on Oath instead. I really hope this is Show and Tell and not Narset. Shit. Well, I have 2 1/1s in play to attack it. Could be worse. Narset's digging. Flash. All right. Well, that's one of the better cards. And my hand is all blanks right now. That one's not blank. Oh, yes, it is, because Narset's in play. I'll work my way through Narset and then deal with that. Attack Narset. Almost fired that off and pass the turn. If they have the Flash, do they have the ATRAXA? And if so, do they have the continued gas after that? Merchant Scroll, yuck. Ancestral Recall. They'll probably Ancestral in my upkeep, so they don't get attacked with the Spirit right away. Ooh, Abrupt Decay. All right, their next Oath is covered. I'm going to attack Narset with both. I'm not going to mess around versus removal spells. All right, Flash Ancestral over there. I think I'd rather Ancestral in response to theirs. Okay, they're just chips down, holding it. Diamond hands. Which means I could just attack them and put them in the spot to have to figure this out. I have 7 cards in my hand right now. We're both on diamond hands. Do I want to decay their Vexing Bauble in the end step? That unlocks all their forces they could be holding. It does give me a ton of mana, though. All right, now I'll hold it. Stock up. Yeah, kind of wish I had destroyed that. I'm just going to discard Oath. There's no universe where I'm casting that card here. Okay, I think I'm going to go End Step, Decay, Vexing Bauble. Unlock my mana, try some stock ups, Ancestral Recall. Like, I know they can do stuff here, but so can I. Yeah, your Ancestral resolves in the end step when you have to discard a bunch of cards, especially if you crack Bauble. This will be like a discard 3 in the end step. And if you flash Atraxa, it's even more like a smoke the whole pack situation. Kind of like busting Standstill in Old Legacy when Standstill was a playable card. If they cast Flash here, they don't have Atraxa. I do have a third Spirit, and then they discard even more cards. Yeah, just going to clean up. It's like they didn't draw cards at all. Got them. Demonic Tutor. Sweet. Okay, Pearl. Emerald. Stonks. I fully expect a Flusterstorm here. Tapping Forbidden Orchard. Ooh, okay, they're flashing over top. I'm going to Ancestral over top of this. And hope they don't have Mindbreak Trap. That would be so embarrassing. Force of Negation, pitching Force of Will. My Ancestral's gone. Flash is going to reload them. And then we'll see if Stock Up resolves on the other side. There goes Atraxa. Atraxa trigger. There's Tinker. Flusterstorm. I don't see a Force here. They took Lotus Sea, Fluster, Tinker. Okay, am I going to get to Stock Up? Or are we going to see Fluster pitch to that? Oh, Force pitching Tinker. Wow. All right. All right. Game on. Tinker was what I was most worried about, and now that's gone. Okay, the beats continue, and you're up. Where's the subgame going now? Can they stick in Oko? Are they going to cast Citadel from hand? Is that why they discarded the Tinker? Not with that mana. Oh, okay. They just said in the chat, like, oops, the Tinker. I'm asleep. Ha 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 ha. So I think that they meant to set up like pitch, Fluster, play Tinker. Or I think they probably meant to pitch this stock up and then cast the Tinker. That makes way more sense. Okay. All right, this game is not the cleanest of testing, but opponents will make mistakes in real life too. And it's not like I'm just done here. They could stock up into an Oath and I'm 4 creatures in the hole. There's the sea. Yeah, there it is. And we know they're holding Flusterstorm. Or are we time walking? Are we doing it all? Oh, second Oath. All right, they're going to shred through the deck here. They did tap out a Flusterstorm to get to this point. What can I do? I can start by casting Demonic Tutor and seeing what happens. Yeah, what do I even do here? Yeah, the second Oath means that tutoring Boseiju isn't good enough. I could grab Oko to deal with a potential future. Time Walk attacks them for 8. It gives me a redraw where maybe I could find, or I could flash now. All right, yeah, I guess I have to flash to try to load up and just see if I can do anything. All right, flash, looking for mana plus Time Walk, plus more action. There goes my Atraxa. Trigger, Time Walk's there, Black Lotus is there. Did we find the line? Oko, Force of Will, Flooded Strand. Oh, yeah. All right. Did I just win? It's close. Black Lotus. I attack for 4. I Time Walk. I play Oko on the follow-up turn. Attack for 7. They're at 2. Yeah, my mana's short of lethal. Like Oko, double walk. It also casts this Atraxa if I'm able to hold on to my Lotus, which I'm just obviously not. All right, blue, 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 Time Walk. I think this is the only path forward here. Fetch. Get my Hedge Maze. Try to get a little help somewhere. Force of Negation. Do I want to just Oko pass, try to beat Atraxa? I might just literally have to do that, but they get to Atraxa twice. But if they only have one Atraxa in on the other side, that's okay. Their Time Walk is still around somewhere. This gives me 2 forces. All right, I will keep that. Attack for 4. Go to my extra turn. Green, blue, colorless, Oko, Elk my Pearl, attack. All right, you're at 2 and you get a bunch of Atraxas here. Atraxa, trigger. I see Force of Will in that pile and Veil of Summer. Those are both instants. This is actually a really bad Atraxa, but they can go again. And we've seen Gaia's Blessing in their list, so they can go pretty aggressive here. This is the first of 2 ATRAXAs. One of them's in the graveyard already, and one's about to be randomly in the bottom 7 cards of their deck. Oh, they took the ATRAXA. Okay, Soul Ring, ATRAXA, Orchard Vale. All right, I accidentally clicked away the Soul Ring, but it is in their hand. All right, here's the other ATRAXA. There's Time Walk. I don't think I can do this. Wait, was Time Walk milled? No, it was milled. Okay. So they're gonna shuffle back in. Right, these are the mill cards. These are not the ATRAXA trigger yet. Okay. They're gonna shuffle in first because they want that Time Walk. And here's the big hit. Time Walk not among them. Vexing Bauble, Force of Negation, Gitaxian Probe, Mox Jet, some Boseijus, some lands. Another Oath. They can Veil of Summer so Oko doesn't elk their ATRAXA. Right, they took Boseiju, Probe, Force of Negation, Vexing Bauble. And they draw for turn. Here we go. Soul Ring is in. They have to pay mana for Gitaxian Probe because they have 2 life. There's the Orchard. Vexing Bauble resolves. Maybe I was supposed to force that just to try to get some interaction. Oh, fuck me. All right. Now I lose to Time Walk plus Veil. Okay, so I was definitely supposed to fight the Bauble. I fluster this, die to Veil of Summer. Yeah, it turns out 2 ATRAXAs is pretty good. Okay, Veil, their stuff can't be countered or targeted. This lets them attack Oko. All right, I can never win this game. Okay. Who needs Tinker? You could just pitch that to Force and just win with other stuff. Okay, opponent is still heavily on an Oath plan, which is interesting because I've moved away from that. That doesn't mean anyone's wrong, it just means we've approached it differently. I still like my plan. I'm going back in, same cards. This is not good. It's a lot of mana, but it doesn't do anything. Mulligan. Okay, I like this. I will keep it and put Hedge Maze on the bottom. Let's play out some stuff. I've got the Planeswalker squad here. Oh, was I supposed to bottom Boseiju? This mana doesn't actually cast Narset. All right, I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze. If they Ancestral while I'm tapped out of Fluster, that's fine. I don't have Fluster anyway. And it's the end of their turn where they'll have to discard some cards. Yeah, go nuts. A Hedge Maze. It's Stock Up? Yes. All right, I'll take Stock Up. That's something I don't mind shoving into their handful of cards. Discarded an Oath and an ATRAXA. Boseiju, Stonks. That resolved, I like it. Forbidden Orchard, Demonic Tutor. This lets me game in a variety of ways, and it pads me against potential Oath. Alright, passing the turn. Emerald. Ring. If they Tinker here, Mindbreak Trap is on. Sapphire. Alright, Tinker with Fluster backup's pretty clear here. Time Walk, okay. Flash. Alright, I'm going to Mindbreak Trap that, because I don't want them going to a fresh turn, and Trap's going to be off next turn anyway. Okay, what can you do with all those cards? All that mana? Narset. Alright, that's not Tinker, I'll take it. Force of Will in your hand. Oko's probably good enough to eat that. Oh, what a twist. Who's the Oath deck now? I could Demonic Tutor using Forbidden Orchard. If they force it, I just play Oath. If they don't force it, all right, here we go. If they don't force it, I just get Force with Demonic Tutor and protect my Oath. All right, I will take a Force and I'll play Oath. That Veil of Summer that their deck has is so scary right now. I don't know how good that card is in the metagame overall, but it's definitely good in the Oath mirror. Okay, they let Oath resolve despite having Force of Will in hand. That means they got a plan to counterplay it. Orchard qualifies. 2 forces over there now. Stock up, yikes. All right, well, I can't afford to fight over that. Well, I obviously have to counter this. Force pitching Narset. They're going to force back. That leaves Oko in my hand, who can elk the Bolas's Citadel if I get a turn. Right, force pitching Force, that's everything I knew about. You get to Tinker. Land drop's been used already. Yeah, Tinker definitely good in the mirror. Gives them a real combo thing that I don't have. Right, They've passed the turn. They said land LOL in the chat. Do I believe them? I guess is the question. Oh, sick. Now I don't care what I believe. Vexing Bauble on the stack. That shuts off Bolas' Citadel. Oko. These are the best cards I could have had. I had the Oko already, but Vexing Bauble, real nice. And now do I want to Elk the Soul Ring to slow them down? Or Elk the Bolas' Citadel in case they can remove Vexing Bauble? I'm going to go for Soul Ring. Hero mode. I should have attacked Narset. Or no, my blocker protecting Oko. Okay. They are saying a lot of words in chat right now. All right. Atraxa gets countered by Vexing Bauble. The Veil of Summer can push her through. And we got the GG. All right. We got the GG in parentheses for my great play. By them. They're disparaging themselves. I don't think they're being mean to me. But okay. On to the next round. That was crazy. Opponent, you should go to bed. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play for round 4. My hand is unplayable. My opponent has not revealed Aluris. I am going to mulligan. This hand rips its goddamn face off. All right, I'm going to keep this and bottom. Does anyone need 2 Atraxas in a game? Or I don't need Forbidden Orchard. That's the out. So I'm going to use Probe. One of these Atraxas is the blue card. All right, Orchard at the bottom. Game on. Okay, let's see what's going on over there. Hopefully it's nothing that beats the show and tell. Oh, they're playing Dredge. That's actually interesting because putting the Bazaar into play on their turn lets them set up and get a full turn of dredging before Atraxa's live. Mindbreak Trap is over there. If I play Narset, they don't get to draw cards off of the first Bazaar activation. Yeah, I just have to show and tell here. There's no other play. But this is a deck that could beat it. Mindbreak Trap, force pitching Narset. I think she missed her chance to be useful this game. Can Atraxa hit 3 mana? Is that even possible? I don't think so. All right. Force back. Put an Atraxa in. You put Bazaar in. Here we go. Activating Bazaar in response. Discarding Stinkweed, Imp, and Icarid that we knew about. The Grief and Hollow One are still over there. Vexing Bauble, let's go. That's helpful here. Okay. Vexing Bauble. Tropical Island. Oath. Thoughtseize. Flusterstorm. All right, done. And I'll play Vexing Bauble, which turns off Grief and Hollow One. But now they have to beat me with Dredge cards, which they can do, but the race is on. Upkeep, Stinkweed Imp, hit a Creeping Chill and a Narcomoeba, hit a Shambling Shell along the way, 2 Prized Amalgams trigger. Yeah, F6, go nuts. Whatever's happening is happening. It's just Atraxa versus the universe. A slow Dredge, hit another Prized Amalgam, but that one won't trigger. Silver Smoke School triggers off of the Serum Powder. Right, a land for an Oath, for this Oath would be great. Hell yeah. Okay. Now I can keep it going, but this is a lot of damage coming back my way. But I am gaining a lot of life, so fun, fun, fun. It's just burn versus big stuff. The other Prized Amalgam triggers in the end step from the Amalgams in their last end step. Icarid's coming up. This is crazy. Multiple Narcomoebas. All right, so Atraxa blocks 2.5 of their creatures. That's how the math works out, because I block one actually. Or no, it blocks 3.5 of their creatures. All right. Creeping Chill. I'm at 17. Is there 17? Is there 24 damage coming through here? I don't think so, but all I can do is block. I'm not even going to count. Who gives a shit? All right. I go to 8. Rise of Malcolm comes back. I trigger Oath, and we go for the spin. I have to make sure I keep the real ATRAXA. Okay, I'm looking for Time Walk. That's my game winner. Time Walk is in the graveyard, so I should keep the one that can attack and stack the Gaia's Blessing over the ATRAXA trigger. Show me Time Walk. No Time Walk. Does Oko help? Does Stock Up help? You know, Oko's another blocker, so Island, Oko, Stock Up, Black Lotus, might as well take it. Force of Will, might as well take it. Done. Draw Time Walk for turn. Did not draw Time Walk for turn. Push back up to 15 life. And is it better for me if they could cast zeros or not? All right, so green, blue, colorless. I can Elk, Vexing Bauble to help block, which also lets me play Stock Up right now, which may or may not matter. Moxjet, Soul Ring, Flash. Moxjet, I could Thoughtseize them, but I don't think I want to. Show and Tell, does that matter? I don't think so. I'm going to take Jet and Ring. Play Jet, play Ring, and hope I'm not dead, though I might be. Yeah, there's still 2 chills in there. Yeah, they're going to race a turn 1 ATRAXA. Sick. I've still not done the math, and I'm not going to. They have to do 19 to me through 2 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 threes. That's 21. I can block 2 of those. Hollow one's in. They can grief me here if they want. Yep. All in, all around. Probably take Stock Up would be my guess. Took ATRAXA, okay. Math is for blockers. That's me. All right, so we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Am I at 1? I'm at 1! Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, we get another shot at the Time Walk here. Yes, I'd like to use Oath. Is Time Walk in the graveyard? No. All right, so keep the one that can attack. Stack the Blessing under the ATRAXA trigger. Time Walk, baby! All right, Time Walk, backup Oath, Mox Emerald, Force of Will, Forbidden Orchard. I am not going to take ATRAXA. I want those in my deck. Shuffle that away. Draw for turn. And I think we've done it. Okay, Time Walk is happening. Forbidden Orchard. Attack for 7. All right, now it's time to block. That's good news for me. I'm going to Elk Hollow one just to make it smaller. And then 1, 2, Oath. And now I could trigger Oath multiple times every turn cycle. I'm actually going to save the Stock Up because that can look for Time Walk on my many subsequent turns that are coming. Okay, trigger. And this is a game I would definitely lose if Gaia's Blessing wasn't in the list. Okay, keep the one that can attack. We know Time Walk's in the graveyard. Shuffle first. Tracks a trigger. Finds Time Walk. We're in. Vamp Tutor can guarantee Time Walk next turn. Lotus, Oath. Now I can Oath 3 times per turn. Done. Do I even want to do this? I don't think so. Nope, I can decline that one. I've got what I need on the first spin. Time Walk. Another Oath. And they've had enough. Now they're convinced that I can take infinite turns. Wow, what a sick battle. That was a lot of fun. Vintage. All right, my Graveyard Hate comes in, plus the Tabernacle at Pendrevale. Sarah's Emissary comes in here. Naming creatures pretty tough for them, then they have to burn me out with Creeping Chills. Consign to Memory does affect a lot of the things their deck does, but I don't know that I'm going to have room for something like that. Okay, Basic Islands out. I could switch an ATRAXA into a Sarah's Emissary and have the same total number of monsters, and this increases my chances of hitting Sarah's Emissary by 5%, but it decreases my chances of having a creature in my hand for Show and Tell, which is actually interesting math to do. All right, Gataxian Probe could matter. Mental Misstep won't. Force of Negation and Grief is the card I need to counter, and everything else they're going to do on my turn. Do I want 5 monsters in the deck for Show and Tell density or not? this is something to figure out. I guess I'm not really going to Thoughtseize Dredge, though they are a Force of Will deck, especially if the game gets grindy. Like if I successfully get them under Tabernacle and they're just doing one thing per turn. But their opening hand's the only hand that matters. After that, it's just going to be Dredgers. Okay, I think I want 5 monsters for Show and Tell density. And I'm going to run it like this. Okay, I've got Hate and a turn 1 Oath. I'm going to keep. Bazaar. We know they play Grief. We know they play Force. 2 Dredgers and a Silver Smoke Ghoul discarded. Interesting. All right. I'm going to start with Lotus and see if they fight over that. Did not fight over that. That means I'm good to cook here. I'm going to stock up with blue floating. That's enough to Flusterstorm and then also hit a land and play Oath. Flusterstorm that. That Force pitched Narcomoeba. Storm is 6 on turn 1. Vintage Gaming. It's stock up. Where do we go from here? Into another Force, hell yeah. Alright, fair enough. Sometimes they play Wasteland to counteract Tabernacle, but I still don't want to pass without a land drop being used. That's a extremely finite resource. And Creeping Chill and Icarids can easily do 20 damage. This is not a lock. They have plenty of things that have haste or just go straight to the head. Like they've already chilled me twice. I'm at 14. There is an Icarid in there. Silver Smoke Ghoul. These are all just going to die. This doesn't matter. But I do need to figure out what I'm doing here. All right, blue source is what I'm doing here. All right, they're going to get a bunch of creatures back that are all just going to die. They can put me to 8 if they flip their whole deck with Creeping Chills. And then the Icarids, they have to hit me 3 times with Icarid to win this game, basically. We're playing Dan at this point, where Icarid is Dan. There's one Icarid hit. Tapping Bazaar. Hit a bunch of Narcomoebas. There's a second Icarid here. So I'm not quite dead on board. I am dead on board if they can dump their whole, if they hit both Creeping Chills next turn, which they're about 50-50 to do. Blue source to seal it. Dang it. All right, I might be dead here because the Icarids hit this turn and then I'm in Creeping Chill range and it doesn't matter if I have ATRAXA in play at that point. I would need to rip a blue source, hit ATRAXA. ATRAXA hits Tormod's Crypt or land plus Soul Guide Lantern. That would actually do it. Okay, they haven't Bazaar'd yet. They're putting me to 5. They can guarantee mill 9. All right, and now I'm just dead. Dang. All right. Don't even need to play that out. Okay, I mean, double Force got me. That stock up was real. I was relying on that stock up for the second round of action. Okay, same deck, let's go. I'm just on the play this time. All right, I like this hand a lot. I'm gonna keep. It's actually really interesting if I even play this Mana Crypt. Probably not. Okay, I'm gonna go Tormod's Crypt first, and then Vexing Bauble. If they have Force of Vigor, they could blow up Crypt now. Force of Negation, sure. All right. 3-card hand, dealt with Vexing Bauble. Crypt plus Tab is a nice squeeze, because now I can Crypt away Icarids while tabernacling everything else. There's an Icarid. Show and Tell. I might play that someday. All right, Forbidden Orchard and pass. All right, they're going to dredge in response to their Icarids. If they hit a Creeping Chill or a second Icarid, I might just bomb here. All right, this is pretty moderate. Because Creeping Chill is a trigger that the Creeping Chill has to still be in the graveyard when it happens. So Tormod's Crypt does counter Creeping Chill. All right, I take 3. They get Prized Amalgam back. And then I play Tabernacle. Ooh, all right. This game just got even spicier. The double Bazaar. Underground Sea. Well, it's Tabernacle time. I'm doing that. 2 Bazaars in play, 1 in the graveyard. 1 left somewhere in the deck. Now they're actually in like kind of a cool spot where they're incentivized to trigger Icarid before dredging, because if my Crypt gets to counter a chill and take out 2 Icarids, that's way worse. But if they're dredging, threatening that with Icarid in play, then it's safe from the nonsense. Soul Ring. I will eventually have to value Time Walk. We're not there yet. They can chip shot me with this Icarid for as long as they like. They're taking actual draw steps trying to beat the Tormod script. Come on, card that does anything. All right, we're in. Now they actually have to play Magic. Oh, I can Time Walk and make it even worse for them. I'd rather Time Walk with ATRAXA in play, though. Okay, I'm going to pass. Icarid. There's that one. Still not dredging. Icarid's in. I'm at 8. End step. Float a blue. Give you a fella. Okay, and they're done. They know that it's over from here. Yeah, tenuous control, but if you can control their nonsense, it doesn't take much to beat them. But as we saw game 2, they can just beat hate. As we saw game 1, they can put you to 1 through a turn 1 ATRAXA. Scary stuff. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round, positive records lock, playing for the 4-1. We are repaired right back into Black Dex 99, who quickly mulled to 6. So this is dredge. This hand is not fast enough. Like, what do I do? I mean, I've turned 1 stock up, but where does that get me? What even is my plan versus dredge game 1 if I'm not shoving turn 1 ATRAXA? That's not great. And we know that their deck has grief in it. You know what? Actually, I am going to keep this. Gaia's Blessing can double as graveyard hate, as whack as that is. But if they like mulligan low, bazaar something into the graveyard, then I can clip it. That's kind of a time walk. I don't know. And then turn 1 stock up's my backup. They've powdered twice and mulled to 3. How many chills are out? There's an Icarid out, a bunch of griefs out. All right, nothing super important. In exile here. All right, turn 1 hollow 1 with no dredgers. This is a situation I can just straight up win with Oath of Druids. I've got Trop, Pearl, Jet, and then I can go... I could Gaia's Blessing the Icarid back into their deck for a cantrip right now. Do I want to do that? I can't Infinite ATRAXA with a Blessing in my hand. And I don't have ways to... Like, I don't have a Brainstorm. I don't have anything that puts it back in. So I do actually have to win with the ATRAXAs I have. I guess, in the spirit of that... Okay, they just don't want to play. All right, never mind. They don't want to have me sit here and figure it out. What I was going to do was pass without playing a spell, and then I would use Gaia's Blessing, because they had flipped their whole shot there, and they did not develop a dredger, so they would have had to draw discard again, and then I could hit the dredger, develop Oath. That's what I was thinking about when they conceded. They just don't want to wait for me to figure it out, which is fair. All right, what did I do? It was Misstep, Force of Negation, Island. I did want the extra monster, and Thoughtseize. Okay, that still makes sense. Made sense 5 minutes ago. Still makes sense now. Once again, took game 1. It's funny because the first time around, I took game 1 because my deck did the nuts and took infinite turns at 1 life, and I won game 1 this time because their deck did the reverse nuts and didn't do anything. All right, they have 7 this time. This hand, I believe, is too slow, and the Gaia's Blessing's in it, which means I can't go infinite. And there's no hate. I'm going to mulligan. I mean, there's no hate here either, but these cards are good. I'm going to keep and bottom 1 of the Force of Wills. Boseiju hits Bazaar, so I guess there is some hate in the deck, even at the bargain baseline basement bottom level. I can always Boseiju a Bazaar. Right, the Grave Troll's here. That card's restricted. All right, I'm not going to force hollow 1. Ooh, well, I don't want to play against 2 of these, but I mean, I'm in trouble anyway. This is what I was saving Force for. Force the Grief, pitching Flusterstorm. All right, this is a lot of pressure. Can we get out of it? Show and Tell is a step in the right direction. I'm going to probe first. Losing 2 life here might actually be devastating. All right, Force of Will was in the hand. I'm going to Ancestral now. And I've got a shitload of green mana, so I'll take black here. Ancestral myself. All right, this is not very good. Pass the turn. I can stock up next turn with a mana still up. Like, what I was really looking for off the Ancestral was Mox plus Soul Guide Lantern, or just Tormod Script straight up. All right, lots of stuff's happening. I got hit with a chill. They get to attack me for 8. There is an Icarid in the graveyard for the future. And all this shit triggers. I basically have to draw Tabernacle, and I'm still in bad shape if I do that. Alright, we're insanely fucking dead. I guess stock up hitting Black Lotus Time Walk, and I'm not literally dead. Okay, I'm literally dead. Yep. You stumble for 1 second and you're dead. Alright, game 3. I don't think anything changes. I get to go first this time. Let's go. They've shown me what a Mull to 3 looks like and what a Keep on 7 looks like. I prefer the first one. This is not good. It just doesn't do anything. Mulligan. This guy's Blessing loves being in my hand. I could turn 1 stock up, but what am I trying to find? A Time Walk is always okay. Right, I will keep this and bottom Blessing. Black Lotus. If they force, I probably have to force back. Do I want to leave a blue floating? I think I do. Yeah, alright. Stock up, leaving a blue floating. Yep, these 7-card hands. Tough sell. Maybe I was supposed to force that, but too late now. That force pitch, Narcomoeba, Bazaar. So if I draw Oath, we're still playing. Discarded Shambling Shell and 2 Icarids. Hey, I totally did this on purpose and had it the whole time. Okay, we're in there. They need a big turn to get this done, and it has to happen through Force of Will. 2 Icarids trigger. Their Shambling Shell hit a Stinkweed Imp. Icarids coming in. They still have a draw step coming. That's a Dredge 5. And they hit a Chill and another Amalgam. I don't have the Tabernacle yet, so Amalgams are actually bad news. Oh my god. Okay, Bazaar is happening. They hit a Narcomoeba and nothing else of note there. Okay, that one was pretty modest. Okay, I mean, this ATRAXA has to be good. I do have the Time Walk already in the bank, which makes it a lot more likely to be good enough. That's at least 2 ATRAXAs coming. Alright, other end step shit happens. Good thing I drew Oath, huh? I was gonna be super dead. But that's why we play this dumbass deck, because sometimes you just have Oath of Druids. Use the ability. Did not hit my Blessing. And we've got Stock Up, Oko, Mox Emerald, Tropical Island. I don't think I'm going to be trying to Beseiju this opponent anymore. And Force of Will. Done. Alright, please don't draw Gaia's Blessing for turn. Okay. Dodged that Cruel Fate. Mox Emerald. Do I need to play around Mindbreak Trap? I guess I'm doing that anyway. Lands aren't spells. Time Walk. And we get to go another spin here. Their Prized Amalgam triggered, but it was already in play. Right, here we go. I'd like to use the ability. I'd like to keep the new one. Trigger. Soul Guide Lantern helps. I did not hit the Gaia's Blessing, though, so we're not out of it. Gaia's Blessing, Show and Tell. ATRAXA's another round. Okay, well, they've seen enough. GG's. Okay, a 4-1 record here. That felt much smoother than the Tinker Oath, though in that mirror match, I mean, my opponent was clearly falling asleep in their chair, just making a lot of small mistakes. And I think they were favored, at least in the mirror match, but I felt better in all the other matches. And my loss was even kind of a solid matchup where I just couldn't line my stuff up to tough mulligans. They had their Academy into Null Rod in game 3. Like, some stuff happened, some vintage stuff happened. I do still like Oath, and those matches that just feel so free when your opponent does something like cast Ragavan and then die. Or that Dredge match where obviously I got super lucky top decking an Oath, but that's why we played the deck, right? Being able to overcome a double Bazaar Dredge start just because I have the card Oath of Druids in my hand. Pretty messed up. I'm still not totally sold on doing this for Eternal Weekend, but we are closer to a place where I'd want to be with my list, if true. I'm going to leave this one here. Be your guard. Thanks for the chance to play Oath again. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.